Aye, lad, it's a special sort to keep that magic. Fred reached them. Seamus instantly recognised that smell of fish and chips. Jed and Delina had fish and chips supper every Friday. Sometimes Jed would give Seamus some fish. He was a nice man, Seamus thought, in his late 40s. He had very kind eyes and a friendly face. Hello, wow, magnificent golden eagle, my. And look at you. Hello. Fred put his hand out to shake the little monkey's hand. Oh, yes, hello, Fred. Well, I'd better be off. I'm very tired and go to dense woods, catch up on some sleep. Fly home this evening. Yes, you had better go. Thank you so much, Robbie. You too, Fred. Have you travelled far? From Blackpool. Took about 2.5 hours. It's worth it to help Mighty Oak. Aye. Have you ever met him, Fred? No, I'm excited. Never thought I'd meet him. Well, so long, Seamus. You go with Fred. He's a good man. You'll be safe. And with that, Robbie lowered his head, opened his massive wings, and took off. Wow, what a sight. Fred had a tear in his eye. Seamus relaxed. He understood. To see Robbie fly off like that made him feel quite emotional. We have witnessed a special sight, Seamus. You're doing a good thing, Seamus, helping Mighty Oak like this. Right, it's getting light. Hop up. Seamus jumped up and sat on Fred's shoulder. Must have been a bit scary up there on Robbie's back. Seamus liked this man. At least someone could see it from his perspective. Yes, it was. I fell asleep and I nearly slipped off. That was a shock for you. Seamus wondered if he should share this part of his story or not. After all, he'd only just met Fred. He decided Fred was easy to talk to, and he was sure that he would understand. Actually, I got desperate to do a wee-wee. I think it started when I got scared. I thought I was going to fall off Robbie. Seamus, that's awful, and you couldn't go on Robbie, could you? No, I had to wait till we got here. Don't tell me, rushed to the bushes. Yes, exactly. Seamus liked Fred. He understood. The pair laughed. Seamus didn't mind in the least that Fred was laughing with him, rather than at him. They reached Fred's transit van. You all right, Seamus? What's wrong? Seamus had a memory of being in a van just like this before. The men were horrible, cruel, and would hit them. Seamus started to panic, and he was crying. Seamus, calm down. Listen, sit in the front next to me. The only reason was to keep you out of sight from people not used to seeing a monkey. Can you keep yourself hidden? If anyone sees you, the game is up. I promise, Fred, I'll keep hidden. Oops. I'd rather sit with you. Is it far, Fred? It is, I'm afraid, Seamus. 365 miles. Should take about 6 or 7 hours. Oh, okay. And then we'll be with Mighty Oak lunchtime. Yes. They got in. Seamus curled up on a tartan blanket and went to sleep. Fred smiled warmly at the sleeping Capuchin. He was so lucky to be able to communicate with animals. Very lucky indeed. They'd been travelling for about 4 hours, and Fred stopped to fill up the petrol. He had not wanted to stop in a busy garage, so had petrol cans in the back of his van. Seamus didn't wake up, which surprised Fred, because his door you had to slam it to shut properly. Fred put on the radio. He was singing along with it, and this woke Seamus up. What a strange song, Puppet on a String. Now you wake up, Seamus. The door slamming you didn't murmur. Puppet on a string, is that the only words? Fred laughed. It's the only words I remember. The next song was Silence is Golden by the Tremolos. Sing this one, Fred. Fred was embarrassed. No, you're all right. Seamus said, I like this one. What does that man mean about charts? Oh, it's just a list of popular songs. What else has been in the charts then, Fred? Let me think. Oh, I know, a song called Release Me by Engelbert Humperdinck. Seamus let out the highest, strangest sound. It made Fred jump. He nearly swerved the van. What's the matter? Seamus was crying. He couldn't talk. Do you need a vet? Fred pulled into a lay-by, worried about his tiny companion. No, sorry, I'm laughing. That's your laugh. Seamus, my goodness, I was worried. Seriously, I thought you were in pain. It was that name you said, Ingle Humpy thingy. Oh, Engelbert Humperdinck. Whose mummy would use that name? That's what they call a stage name. I think his real name is Arnold Dorsey, something like that. So wait, he chose that name. Humans are funny, Fred. I'll never forget that name. Well, there you go. See? Oh, clever, Fred. There's a group called themselves the Monkeys. Is there, Fred? I like that. Fred, I'm sorry. I need to, you know. He knew what Seamus needed. Can you hold on for a minute? I'll find a place to stop. Can you hurry, please, Fred? Ah, here we are. Perfect. Seamus, remember, we cannot let you be seen. I'll wrap you in the blanket and take you to the bushes. You go, do what you have to do, and I will be back for you. Fred carried Seamus over to the bushes, made sure no one was around, and let him go. Seamus, I'll be back in a minute. Fred remembered Seamus had had nothing to eat at all. He went to the back of the van and retrieved a bag full of nuts and berries, all sorts of fruit. Fred also had his sandwiches for himself and a banana. As Fred shut the door to the van, there was a man stood there, an elderly man with a walking stick. Fred jumped. Where'd this man come from? Poor Fred was thinking about Seamus. Please stay there, Seamus, and wait for me. Good morning. Are you all right? No, I had a slow puncture. Thought I'd get away with it. Pesky thing. Need to change the tire. Fred realised that the elderly man looked quite frail. He couldn't change it. Have you a spare? Asked Fred. I have. Well, I'll change it for you. Oh, thank you. I didn't like to ask. No, that's fine. Fred opened his van door, put their lunch back in, and said to the elderly gent, Can you sit there whilst I do your tire? Seamus had been to the toilet and peeked out of the bushes. Where was Fred? He looked. Oh, there's the van, so I'm in the right place. The van doors were open. Who's that sat in Fred's van? Well, must be a friend. And then Seamus spotted the bag with fruit, full up to the top. Look at all that fruit, full of fruit, was coming out of the top. He was very hungry. The temptation was too much. He started to run towards the van. Seamus stopped in his tracks. The man looked cross. He was waving a stick, shouting at Seamus. He was unsure what was going on. Where's Fred? Oh, he's kneeling down. Seamus darted back to the cover of the bushes. The elderly man was furious, waving his stick in the air. Fred ran over. Sir, what's the matter? A monkey. I've jolly well just seen a monkey. Small chap. Just ran off into the bushes. Pesky fellow stood staring at me. I'll show you. The elderly man was heading for the bushes. No, sir, I'll look. We have to be careful, you know, rabies. You're right, lad, but be careful, cheeky fellow. Brazen as you like. Just stop there staring at me. Will you sit down? You sit down, I'll check. Right you are. I'll sit back over here. Seamus. Psst, Seamus. Seamus came out of hiding. Listen, the elderly man has a flat tire. I'm just changing it, and then we can go on our way. Can we have lunch as well, Fred? Of course. Wait here. I'll be back as quick as I can. Fred came out of the bushes and walked towards the elderly man. I didn't see a monkey, sir. There was a grey squirrel. Grey squirrel, you say? I could have sworn. Well, I'm sorry I wasted your time, lad. I need new glasses. Fred finished changing the man's tire and walked him back to his car. You sure? Squirrel, you say? Yes. Oh, well, I'm sorry to put you to trouble. He got out his wallet to pay Fred for his kindness. Fred politely declined. No, honestly, glad to help you. Fred watched as he drove off, picked up the blanket and walked to the bushes. Seamus! Seamus came running out, climbed into the blanket and the safety of Fred's arms.